but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's fielded in the end zone. And now running right through it. And a good effort on the return there gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. First carry for Lamar Miller. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. They still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed. But they really want him to be that guy. And that's what they're doing early in this game.
The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Here we go. Blue 45. Blue 45.
A first down carry now for Miller. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he'll go down at the 28. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They'll pass up a field goal attempt. It would have been a 45-yarder. Now they'll go for it on 4th. They snap it to Stafford. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. Hurdle number 2. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long after.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play.
Trying to find his tight end, Kelsey, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And they'll go on the ground. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football. But that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Here we go on 4th. Stafford. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. Stafford on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And the tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And he fires one, but incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them. That feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And he'll get this just up past the 20, but a marker is down. Let's get the call.
Return team.
This is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
This is Miller. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting them in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
It looks way too easy right now. 2 carries, 2 straight first down runs. The eyes are carrying the legs to the proper hole, but they're being created by an offensive line that has the leverage game going for them right now. Lower than the defensive front, creating space, and he's finding it in a big way. Gotta love what they're doing on offense right now.
2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And he powers his way up past the 30. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looks like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. A nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the...
Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Nigel Brown. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. Johnson was the intended receiver.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Green 90. Green 90.
Here's a give to Miller. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Eagles are back within a score. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. He has not had the start to this game that he envisions here in the second quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So, kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. 1 interception for him, no touchdown passes. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. And on the ground they go with a running back. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a play fake here on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now it's Stafford. And this is incomplete. Unable to get it to Gronkowski that time. 3rd down here.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here. That looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open. And this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Oh, now he bowls him over. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Malcolm Jenkins up to make the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. To throw on 3rd down, Stafford. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. The reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. To the right side, it's Kelsey. A gain of 6 there on first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's real.
And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Travis Kelce, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. Such an art to dot the I, just get the feet in right there against the line before going out of bounds.
Such an incredibly graceful, athletic play, but also a lot of practice goes into it. They work on that to make sure that they learn how to train their feet to get down in bounds.
So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space. Maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense? The long handoff. Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Hey, alert it.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense.
Anytime a fake doesn't work, we usually focus our attention on the guys that were unsuccessful. But how about the defensive guys? They have to plan all week. They have to prepare all week. Special teams, they look like they were educated for that one.
Educated on their toes and getting a big stop. Now Mahomes. This complete left side to Aguilar. He got 29 yards that time. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. Nelson Aguilar as the first half is winding down. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Final 12 seconds of the half now, as they've got it 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Going deep here for Parker. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 25. 2nd and 10. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Caught on the right side by Jones. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Here's Stafford. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now, is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but third and short definitely was a great time to dial one up.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. He's going to let this one go deep. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive.
So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, hey, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Mahomes now to throw. Aguilar has it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big gain of 31 on third down.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Miller. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. They'll run it again with Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. On the crossing route, complete. It's Jones. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
On the slant, he gets it to Gronkowski. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Play action. Stafford. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Parker that time, and now it's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, he'll force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On 3rd down, Stafford is going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st down, Stafford here. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Nigel Bradham in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw on 3rd down, Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a lion that's shaken up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's Bernard. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Underneath, this is Bernard. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
40 got.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the 2nd time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a gain of 11. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Green 39.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Green 39. Green 39.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talked about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error. Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Stafford now to throw. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. The 13 yards that time of the 1st. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The tackle was made by Michael Bennett.
But he was stopped on that play. But he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Back to throw, Stafford. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his legs.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Here we go.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Now Bernard. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Giovanni Bernard, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Prater for the extra point.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only one score down.
Yeah, true. We could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. The pressure drops off as they look to throw. And it's complete to Kelsey. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Important extra point up and through. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So here come the Lions now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He's back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 46 yards. Charles, just a gigantic play right there.
Absolute breakdown defensively, but take no credit away. A huge gain, and that turns things around.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
Back to throw. Dancing to his left. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. Second and goal from inside the 5. He's going to get it running right. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow. Wow. How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah. What looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. A field goal does him no good. They need a touchdown.
And right now, in his mind, in his memory bank, he's drawing on times that he's done this before. Not necessarily in the NFL. College, high school, pee-wee ball, wherever. Anything positive.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. Boy, what a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of two halves, won't you?
Right, but I'm a bad writer.
I don't know exactly what happened, because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, too relaxed, and a couple of things go wrong, and it's hard to get back that good feeling.
And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. And they'll indeed take a knee. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they will take a knee here. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, this from 53. And the 13-year man puts it through, and that'll make this a 7-point game. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
So some drama down to the very end of this ball game, Charles, on that final kickoff. They were hoping to break free, some sort of miracle play. They will fall to 1-1.